Today I will be talking about effective communication. Communication itself can be constructed into very different definitions and meanings. To start off with, I'll be talking about different types of interviews. Types of interviews are categorized into two main types. Normally, this is undergone after a sporting event, such as a match, which after players will be brought out individually or sometimes in little groups, and then they will be asked to categorize or summarize the match that they've just undergone as a whole. This could be based off their performance or the team performance. The first type of interview I have to explain is a pre-interview. These are interviews that are pre-recorded and can be adjusted to allow the media to perceive and acknowledge what is meant by the individual or the player. This enables the audience to gain some understanding of what the athlete is saying and the message they're trying to get across. These type of interviews will normally be found in Match of the Day. Match of the Day is a TV program that is streamed on after the day in the evening after every single match in that day has been played. In this TV program, you will find ex-footballers diagnosing these matches and giving their summaries on how matches were played, and they'll be giving their positive thoughts and negative thoughts on players and teams as a collective. In these summaries of matches that these ex-footballers will be given, normally they tend to pull out interviews that may be given before the match or after the match. These interviews could be with players or managers, both giving their summaries of the games or their expectations coming into the games. Another type of interview is a live interview. These are recorded live and there is no possible way to edit them whilst it is started. These type of interviews will be taken after a match has ended. In this interview, they will be giving players an opportunity to be talking about their match summary. Moving on, there are many significant others within the sporting industry. These could be people such as coaches, employers, managers. In terms of communication, the athletes will talk to their coaches with a real sense of understanding between one another. And in most scenarios, the athlete will often speak in an informal manner and tone due to the familiarity in which the athlete with these particular figures in their day-to-day lives live as an athlete. This is due to the bond between the player and the individual and the coach being suitably strong and being able to understand both context and meaning of words in which they can exchange with each other. This sense of understanding with each other gives them the ability to get away with using certain language types in which in some environments may seem inappropriate. For example, an athlete communicating with their manager will be greeting their coach after just arriving for training or making a joke using some sense of slang. Using this same type of slang in other situations may be found inappropriate, hence the reason why players will speak in a suitable manner in public, or they will come across as informal because they don't want to let their image or their club that they're representing go down. Sponsorship dealers. In terms of communication, an individual must remain very professional to impress and show a good account when talking to their sponsorship dealers. This is usually formal. This requires no use of slang or swear words with an appropriate projection of their voice. This will enable the individual to have a productive business relationship with these people and even earn rewards such as sponsorship deals. For example, this could be certain brands as Nike, Adidas, Puma, and so on. Athletes will communicate with these people when, for example, they discuss certain terms and deals upcoming for the individual or for the club they're representing. Not all communication is used by using words. There's also very common non-verbal and verbal communications. Some examples of non-verbal communications could be things such as body types, or it could be written or projected. For example, in the sporting industry, during interviews, body language is a very important key to communication. Body language can show a player's emotions, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. Despite whatever they're saying out their mouths, body language will be able for a player to, or for an audience to interpret what is going through that player's head. For example, if a player is talking about how motivated he is towards a certain event or towards a certain match, but their body language is showing them as not being bothered or not being engaged in their subject that they're talking about, then this will give out a miscommunication between the audience and the player, which would cause a bit of conflict. Other types of communication between athletes and the audience could be through social media. Social media is one of the key types of communications up to date. Social media can give a brief summary on what a player is like outside of football. Hence the reason why players who play for clubs are restricted to the certain context that they can share with the audience. This is done because the club that they represent will not want to get a bad image for the player that they are holding. For example, this could be a player on holiday, out of season, enjoying themselves, but whatever they do on holiday can have a big dramatic impact on their club back at home. For example, if the player is seen acting inappropriate in public, this will give a bad image, and this will show that the club that they are representing doesn't have enough control on their players. This will give a bad image on the club, and this could result in losing fans or paying fines, etc. Next, I'll be talking about career planning. Career planning is essential for an athlete to have and maintain a long-term purpose. This is in the form of setting goals. These can be preparations for time during their competitive sport participation and after the end of their playing career. The aim of an athlete in setting goals is to contain characteristics to help them achieve their goals. These are the following. Persistence. This is when an athlete will continue to carry out planning, knowing what the end result may possibly be. Attention. This is the form of an athlete being able to work and focus their mind on the essentials in which will help them achieve their plans. Effort. These include the athlete giving the necessary effort to plan which they have set out for themselves. These include approaching all tasks with a high amount of intensity, placing effort to enable to see results. Strategies. These are tactics in which enable the athlete to gain some momentum in achieving and reaching their goals. These tactics will develop a load of ideas in which will add excitement and ease to the individual's aim to achieve their goals. Athletes must be able to plan in order to achieve their goals, as well as have a contingency plan, as their careers could end at any time. This could be in the form of not being able to sign a contract in which is thought to be inevitable. Serious career-threatening injuries such as broken legs, damaged ligaments could end and happen at any time, and this could end a player's career at any age. Next, I'll be talking about goal setting and SWOT analysis. Objective settings in the athlete's intentions to develop a plan to help them achieve some sort of long-term goal and to see vast amounts of development on their way. This is in the form of short, medium, and long-term targets being set. Short-term goals approximately are about 1 to 3 months. Medium-term goals from 4 to 6 months, and long-term goals from a year onwards. Goal settings enable athletes to not waste time on their aspects that are relevant to their development and to take advantage of the limited time they have in their careers. SWOT analysis. This is aimed at analysing the athlete's current strengths and possibilities to help them achieve their goals and may be strength for their backup plan. This is also a weakness the athlete needs to work on in order to keep track of their main goals. For example, this might be because an athlete has an innate lack of motivation and can't do a lot of tasks. This reduces the athlete's ability to do a lot of work. These opportunities for the athletes are elevated as they may have appropriate resources in the right platform to be able to seek an alternative career to one they are in now. For example, An athlete, could be a footballer, may have a degree in psychology to help them become a sports psychologist in football, to help those suffering from depression. That is a problem in sport. SWOT analysis threats that may be a form of injuries will stop a play career short for an athlete and prevent them from pursuing something. For example, developing a bad reputation for having quarrels with individuals. A SWOT analysis is used in order to secure a path to success in terms of what the athlete wants to achieve. This will enable the athlete to stay on track even when facing most traumatic situations. The SWOT analysis requires and looks at four main skills in which could be useful to an athlete's contingency plan as well as their main goals. These include technical skills. These are skills in which an athlete can perform. Practical skills, what an athlete may be good at in terms of applying themselves. Example, teaching or coaching. Key skills, this will be being able to work in teams. Basic skills, these include numeracy and literacy skills in which an athlete must know. This is crucial. I myself have constructed a SWOT analysis on a player from my class, Ethan. This SWOT analysis has been based on his main preferred sport, which is football. In terms of strength, I've got Ethan down as good ball control and he's got a good understanding of the game. Ethan plays centre-back or can also play centre defensive mid. By doing this, Ethan has shown me that he can predict current situations and oncoming situations in the game. For weaknesses, Ethan does lack a lot of stamina. This may be due to his lifestyle outside of football. Me and him have touched on this briefly, but his lifestyle outside of football can affect his lifestyle inside of football. This could be things such as diet or what he gets up to when he's not playing football. The opportunities that I've seen that Ethan is capable of. Ethan plays for a football team in the league and he also plays for his county. This is a very big opportunity because playing for county can enable scouts from elsewhere to come down and gives them a bigger opportunity to get seen and spotted by a scout. Ethan also has the suitable financial resources around him to help him improve. With these financial supports, Ethan will be able to pay to go to trials or pay to have training sessions with a team that is higher rated and provides better training facilities. Threats that I have also analysed is that Ethan holds a lot of pressure on his head. There are millions of other people Ethan's age that want to make it pro footballer as well. So he has competition from others. Also as well, if Ethan's other lifestyle outside of football doesn't improve, this could lead to him experiencing a major injury within football, and then this could lead to him pulling out of football at a very young age. This is very negative because I've seen and developed that Ethan has a really big passion for football. I have set Ethan a short-term, medium-term and long-term goal. For his short-term goal, this will average for about 1 to 3 months, and this is that Ethan should undergo a diet. This diet should contain less saturated fats, unnecessary sugars, and more lean proteins such as chicken, fish, and more fiber vitamins coming from vegetables. Ethan has already stated to me that he does eat fruit, but I'm going to pressure him to increase his fruit intake. Ethan does undergo many days during the week in the gym. This is very good because he has a very good physique which is very suitable for a centre-back in football. But over the next 6 months, I have aimed for Ethan when he's going to the gym to focus more on cardio instead of muscle building. This way, his work outside in the gym will affect his performance in football in matches. Him being able to last longer than other players gives him an advantage over other players because he will be able to show his key strengths and he will be able to show his effects on the game more sufficiently than others. For a long-term goal, hoping that Ethan has undergone the short-term and medium-term goal, he should be aiming at a semi-professional contract. With the right fitness, physique and basic skills in order to complete a full 90-minute match, he should be able to push further ahead and aim for a semi-professional contract. I have set smart targets for Ethan to complete and work on his weak foot. Firstly, Ethan will be having to participate in kick-ups and juggling with his weaker foot, passing long and short range, and shooting with his left foot. This will be measurable by Ethan will challenge himself when training with his left foot to see how many times he can control the ball in the air, how many kick-ups he can do, as well as passing and shooting. This will all be put to the test in training because he will be set challenges. For example, with kick-ups, he will be asked to take 3 sets of kick-ups. Within these 3 sets of kick-ups, he would have to see how many kick-ups he can do out of 10. Then we'll balance them and we'll compare them over the 3 sets throughout the processing stage. This will be achievable by Ethan keeping track in a logbook and the amount of success he had performing his technical skills of passing, shooting and ball control. This is very realistic. By training on these skills in preparation to the other activities like going to the gym, which I have urged Ethan to keep going, and his diet, as a whole, the pathway to goal